Good morning and good afternoon, whatever the time of day is. I hope you're all having a brilliant, wonderful day. I miss you all in Blossom class and chestnuts and acorns too. I hope that you've been enjoying my stories lately, and I have this one for you today, which is very exciting. I know I've probably read this one in nursery a lot, but I don't know if I've read it to you foundation, though I'm sure you've heard of it before. So this is The Snail and the Whale. And since our topic is animals at the minute, I thought this was a really appropriate one because I love whales and I love tiny, tiny little snails too. Okay, so shall we have a look and see what happens in the story? This is a tale of a tiny snail and a great big grey blue humpback whale. This is a rock as black as soot, and this is a snail with an itchy foot. The sea snail slithered all over the rock and gazed at the sea and the ships in the dock, and as she gazed she sniffed and sighed. The sea is deep and the world is wide. How I long to sail, said the tiny snail. So this is a tiny snail. She's saying all these things, okay? I can see loads of different animals in this picture. I see the snail, seagulls, there's a little cat perched up on here. There are other snails in the flock who all stuck tight to the smooth black rock and said to the snail with the itchy foot, "Be quiet, don't wriggle, stay still, stay put." But the tiny snail sighed and sniffed and cried, "I've got it, I'll hitch a lift." This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail that looped and circled and said, "Lift wanted around the world." See, she wrote it in the rock. She's trying to find a lift so she can travel. This is the whale who came one night when the tide was high and the stars were bright, a humpback whale and mercilessly long, who sang to the snail a wonderful song of shimmering eyes and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves. And this is the tale of the humpback whale. He held it out for the starlight sea and said to the snail, "Come, sail with me." See, he's using his tail to bring her along. It's very kind of him. This is the sea, so wild and free, that carried the whale and the snail on his tail to towering icebergs and far-off lands. What can you see in this picture? What animals? We've got the whale, we've got the snail. What are these down here? Penguins! I love penguins. And there is a little one here. They're seals. With fiery mountains and golden sands. What animals can you see in this picture? So we've got a turtle or tortoise, I'm not sure which one. And we've got a monkey in the trees. These are the waves that arched and crashed, that foamed and frolicked and sprayed and splashed the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. These are the caves beneath the waves where stripy fish with feathery fins and sharks with hideous toothy grins swam around the whale and the snail on his tail. So in the ocean we have some sharks, we have an octopus and some nice little fishies. This is the sky, so vast and high, sometimes sunny and blue and warm, sometimes filled with a thunderstorm, with zigzag lightning and flashing and frightening the tiny snail on the tail of the whale. Join along if you know the words, okay? And on this picture we have some parrots in the trees with some crabs on the shore. And as she gazed across the sky, the sea, the land, the waves and the caves and the golden sand, she gazed and gazed, amazed by it all, and she said to the whale, "I feel so small." What animals can you spot in this picture? I see a eagle, I see a big bear, and of course I see the whale with the snail. But then came the day the whale lost his way. These are the speedboats running a race, zigging and zooming all over the place, upsetting the whale with their ear-splitting roar, making him swim too close to the shore. This is a tide slipping away. Oh dear, what's happened to the whale? He's stuck. What's going to happen? Shall we help him? And this is the whale lying beached on a bay. "Quick, off the sand, back to the sea," cried the snail. I can't move on land. I'm too big, moaned the whale. The snail felt helpless and terribly small. Then, I've got it, she cried, and started to crawl. I must not fail, said the tiny snail. This is the bell on the school in the bay, ringing the children in from their play. This is the teacher holding her chalk, telling the class, sit straight, don't talk. This is the board as black as soot. And this is the snail with an itchy foot. A snail, a snail. The teacher turns pale. Look, says the children, it's leaving a trail. This is the trail of the tiny snail, a silvery trail saying, save the whale. So the snail's gone and found some human children and has written on the board for help. These are the children running from school, fetching the firemen, digging a pool, squirting and spraying to keep the whale cool. So they're all coming together, all the firemen, the children, the villagers, to help this whale. And it's all because of the snail. This is the tide coming into the bay, and these are the villagers shouting, hooray, hooray, as the whale and the snail travel safely away. And there they go, off they are on their travels again. Back to the dock and the flock on the rock, who said, how's time flown, and haven't you grown? And the whale and the snail told their wonderful tale of shimmering ice and coral caves and shooting stars and enormous waves, and of how the snail, so small and frail, with her looping, curling, silvery trail, saved the life of the humpback whale. Then the humpback whale held out his tail, and on crawled snail after snail after snail. And they sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale. And there they go, all of them on the tail, off on their adventure to see everything. So I hope you enjoyed my story today. Snail and the Whale is one of my favourite ones, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Okay, see you all soon. Bye.